Hello, students. Good morning. Welcome to the class 12th Indian Economics, chapter 1st Indian Economy on the eve of independence. Today, we will discuss under this chapter the topic of industrial sector. In the industrial sector, on the eve of independence, what was the situation prevailed in the economy on the eve of independence regarding the industrial sector? The industrial sector was also not developed a sound industrial base under the colonial rule. Even as the country's world famous handicraft industries declined, no corresponding modern industrial base was allowed to come up to take pride at place so long enjoyed by the farmer. The sector needed modernization, diversification, and increased इन्वेस्टमेंट। जो इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर है, जो स्वतंत्रता प्राप्ति के पूर्व संध्या पर देखा गया इसकी सिचुएशन, तो भारतीय उद्योग धंधे काफ़ी पिछड़ चुके थे, जबकि भारत में जो पुरानी औद्योगिक विरासत थी वह धीरे धीरे विलुप्त होने की कगार पर आ गई। हालांकि भारत में बहुत ही मजबूत औद्योगिक आधार मौजूद होते हुए भी यह दिन प्रतिदिन इसका औद्योगिक आधार खत्म होता गया। इसके पीछे जो कॉलोनियल गवर्नमेंट थी ब्रिटिशर्स की, उसकी पॉलिसी मुख्य रूप से जिम्मेदार पाई गई। द पॉलिसी गवर्नमेंट फॉलोड वाज द पॉलिसी ऑफ सिस्टमेटिक डी-इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन। इट वाज अ टू-फोल्ड पॉलिसी। ब्रिटिशर्स की जो पॉलिसी थी वह दो स्तरीय पॉलिसी थी। वो द्विस्तरीय पॉलिसी क्या थी? टू-फोल्ड पॉलिसी। व्हाट वाज द टू-फोल्ड पॉलिसी फॉलोड बाय द ब्रिटिशर्स? दैट इज नंबर वन, to deteriorate the handicraft industries of India and to turn India into a sprawling market for the finished products of British industries so that their continued expansion could be ensured to the maximum advantage of their home country by selling products of British industries in Indian markets at higher prices. इस तरह से इनकी जो द्विस्तरीय आर्थिक नीति थी वह थी कि भारत के जो हैंडीक्राफ्ट इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनको बढ़ावा न देना, उनको धीरे धीरे हतोत्साहित करना, उनके ग्रोथ को रोकना और भारत के जो मार्केट हैं, बाज़ार हैं, इस बड़े बाज़ार को ब्रिटिश में उत्पादित होने वाले जो फिनिश गुड्स हैं उनके लिए उन प्रोडक्ट्स को इस बाज़ार में बेचना हायर प्राइस पर। तो रॉ मटेरियल वे हमसे सस्ते दर पे ले जाते थे और उससे फिनिश प्रोडक्ट बनाकर महंगे दर पर, ज़्यादा दाम पर हमारे ही हाथों बेचते थे। तो दो तरफा शोषण की पॉलिसी उनकी थी। अब आइए देखते हैं कि ये जो इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर है इंडिपेंडेंस के समय की, इसको हम कैसे स्टडी कर सकते हैं। इट कैन बी स्टडीड with the under the two heads, that is decay of handicrafts. Number one, decay of handicrafts, and number two, slow growth of modern industry. ये जो इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर के संदर्भ में हम जो डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं ऑन द एव ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस के समय की, उसको हम दो हेड के तहत, दो हेडिंग के तहत डिस्कस कर सकते हैं। तो आइए देखते हैं। पहला हेडिंग, डीके ऑफ हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स। इन दिस, दैट इज गवर्नमेंट ब्रिटिशर्स followed twofold policy to deteriorate, to reduce the handicraft industries of India. For this, they have introduced discriminatory tariff policy in India. Under this discriminatory policy introduced by the Britishers in India was the policy of the free export of raw materials from the country to their own country। यानी कि हमारे देश से जो रॉ मटेरियल वे एक्सपोर्ट करते थे अपने देश को, वह उस पर कोई टैरिफ, कोई टैक्स नहीं लगाते थे। और दूसरी तरफ वे क्या करते थे, इंपोर्ट ऑफ ब्रिटेन मेड गुड टू इंडिया। जो ब्रिटेन से सामान, फिनिश गुड्स हमारे देश में आते थे, the goods which were imported by Britishers to India, the tariff was not levied on those types of goods. It was also free. That is, the tariff was not taken by the Britishers on the export of raw material from India to their country and import of finished goods from Britain to India. This type of discriminatory policy was followed by the Britishers for decaying the handicrafts goods of the country. Now come to the second point, low priced machine made goods. The cost of the machine made goods was too low and it was spread throughout the country, and it was motivated in our country to use the machine made goods in place of handicraft goods. That is, the competition from Britain made goods declined the demand of handicraft in India. It led to massive unemployment of Indian artisans. तो लो प्राइस मशीन मेड गुड्स के ब्रिटेन से हमारे देश में आ जाने से हैंडीक्राफ्ट गुड्स महंगे होते थे, तो हमारी हैंडीक्राफ्ट इंडस्ट्री इस गुड्स के सामने कंपटीशन कम्पीट नहीं कर पाई, लोग उसको ज़्यादा प्रेफर करने लगे। तीसरा है, और जिसकी वजह से बड़े पैमाने पर हमारे देश में बेरोजगारी की समस्या उत्पन्न होने लगी। तीसरा है चेंजेस इन टेस्ट एंड प्रेफरेंसेस ड्यू टू इम्पैक्ट ऑफ ब्रिटिश कल्चर। टेस्ट एंड preference of people were shifting in favor of British products, which led to increase in demand of British products in Indian market. This leads to fall in demand for Indian-made goods, which were mostly based on Indian handicrafts. That means, as the taste and preferences of the consumers in our country were deprived, reduced, decreased in case of using handicraft goods, they have used to start to use the machine made goods. That is why the market of the country was slowly captured by the British made goods, and this led to fall in demand of Indian made goods, and which were based on the Indian handicraft industries. Now, the fourth point is fall in encouragement to handicrafts. Before the British rule, Indian handicrafts were supported by the Indian emperors, princes, nawabs, etc., which had given our handicrafts domestic and international recognition. Because of British rule, these patrons were losing their existence, and accordingly, Indian handicrafts too were losing the state patronage. Due to the encouragement, the Indian handicrafts industries goods were basically preferred by the Nawabs and emperors of the country. But due to the fall in encouragement of these handicrafts industries, the handicraft industry of the country slowly losing their market in our country. So, this is the first reason of the deterioration of the handicraft industries in our country on the eve of independence. Now come to the second point, slow growth of modern industry. The modern industry's growth was too slow in our country. Basically, the industries which are producing capital goods industries, Such type of capital goods industries were too low in our country. Number one, lopsided growth of industries. Lopsided growth of industries are due to the during the second half of the 19th century, modern industry began to take root in India, but its progress remained very slow. Initially, this development was continued to the setting up of cotton and jute textile mills. The cotton textile mills, mainly dominated by Indians, were located in the western parts of the country, namely Maharashtra and Gujarat, while the jute mills, dominated by the foreigners, were mainly concentrated in Bengal. Subsequently, the iron and steel industries began coming up in the beginning of the 20th century. The Tata Iron and Steel Company was incorporated in 1907. A few other industries in the field of sugar, cement, paper, etc. came up after the Second World War, but their growth rate was very low. Lopsided growth of industries मतलब जो इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ हुआ देश में वह बहुत स्लो हुआ। दूसरी चीज, कुछ देश के सभी भागों में इंडस्ट्रीज की स्थापना नहीं हो पाई। इसका कारण कि कॉटन एंड टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री महाराष्ट्र में डेवलप हुई, वहीं पर कंसंट्रेट होकर के रह गई महाराष्ट्र एंड गुजरात में, और जूट इंडस्ट्री या वेस्ट बंगाल कलकत्ता हुगली के आसपास कंसंट्रेट होकर के रह गए। देश के बाकी हिस्से जो हैं वे इंडस्ट्री से वंचित रह गए। उसके बाद आयरन एंड स्टील इंडस्ट्री टिस्को की स्थापना हुई 1907 में। फिर उसके बाद छोटी मोटी इंडस्ट्री, पेपर इंडस्ट्री वगैरह, सीमेंट इंडस्ट्री वगैरह देश में स्थापित हुई। लेकिन देश के सभी भागों में इंडस्ट्रीज स्थापित नहीं हो पाई, जिसकी वजह से लॉपसाइडेड, यानी कि एक तरफ धूप दूसरी तरफ छाया। जहाँ पर इंडस्ट्री स्थापित हो गई वहाँ धूप है, समझते हैं वहाँ प्रकाश है, और जहाँ पर इंडस्ट्री स्थापित नहीं हुई वहाँ अंधकार हो गया। देश का वह भाग पिछड़ा रह गया। नाउ lack of capital goods industries. The industries were established in our country, but the industries were of the consumer goods production industries. The industries which are producing capital goods, such type of industries were not established in our country. Their share in our country was too low. That is why the industries were not so developed in this time. This is called lack of capital goods industries. Now come to the lower contribution to GDP. The contribution by the industries to our GDP was also too low and too few, because very few industries were established in our country, and the lack of capitals and industrialization in India could not proper as per the requirement of the development of the country. The establishment of a few manufacturing units was no substitute of the country's traditional handicraft industries. Some industries were established, but though these industries are not the substitute of the handicraft industries. That is why the contribution in the GDP by the industries was too low. And last one is the limited area of operation of the public sector. Public sector industries were established in this time period was too low, and the public sector industries were established only in the power generation, railway, communication, ports and other departmental undertakings, only which was not adequate. Participation of government did not extend to development of those industries which were strategic for its growth, like capital goods, electronics, machines and equipments, etc. That is, industries were established in the public sector, but it was not adequate. पर्याप्त मात्रा में जितनी इंडस्ट्रीज इस्टेब्लिश होनी चाहिए थी उतनी नहीं थी। ये कुछ इंडस्ट्री स्टार्ट जैसे रेलवे वगैरह में स्थापना हुई, रेलवे की स्थापना हुई, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेशन में पब्लिक की सेक्टर की सहभागिता देखी गई, लेकिन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गुड्स वगैरह की इंडस्ट्रीज देश में स्थापित नहीं हुई पब्लिक सेक्टर में। तो इस तरह से ये जो स्लो ग्रोथ ऑफ मॉडर्न इंडस्ट्री है, या इसकी वजह से जो इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर की सिचुएशन थी ऑन द eve of the independence was very low and very poor, and you may say the progress of industrial sector was too slow and very few, you may say, the backward in our country in that period. Now, thank you. Next day we will consider the foreign trade on the eve of independence. Rest is well. Thank you.